Hello, my name is Robert Valdez, and this is my Project 3 Sky High Survival. In this game, the robots have taken over and have put you in the Colosseum to find out how many waves of enemies you can last against. So how many can we last against and how many can we take down with us? Let's find out and get right into it. So going in, you can see that I added the jetpack pickup, which was already in the game but just wasn't given to you yet, so I just gave it for that movement. And we are in a Colosseum in a city high in the sky. So let's take them down. We have all these enemies, which are the waves of enemies. They keep respawning every 10 seconds, and our goal is to take down as many of them as we can. And as you can see on the bottom left and the top left, it also shows and continuously updates how many enemies I've taken down. So right now it shows 5 on the bottom left, and it shows 6, and that will keep updating. And the top left shows how many you've killed out of the total amount of robots there are. So that's just going to continue to go up as well. And in the middle, as you can see, there is a turret, and that turret is special, because in this world, that turret is what the robots are using to see your results. So you can't take it down. It's literally just there to show them what you're doing, while at the same time keep shooting you so you have something else to have to dodge. Which also keeps you on your toes, since there are so many bullets that you have to keep dodging. So then we have all these guys. You want to keep running around, getting heals, and taking them down. And as you can see, we've reached 11, and once you reach 10, you get a weapon, another weapon that spawns right here, the shotgun. So now we can have it because I reached 10 kills, and we can start shotgunning them down. This was also buffed. Both weapons were buffed, as you can notice, and shoot way longer, so that they are more effective against big groups of enemies like this. So now I have the shotgun, and now that we reached 20, another thing just spawned in, the launcher, so we can get that back. And I missed it. Oh, they took me down. Okay, but it's gonna show us the game complete screen now. And now I'm just gonna focus to show you the disc, which I also upgraded the amount of ammo for. So now I'm just going to be quiet and focus so we can take down these enemies. Okay, so I ran around just to show you that they keep continuously spawn even if you don't go next to them, and they come in groups. And now this is like the end game, where you have all the weapons, and you're just trying to take down as many of them as you can. And at this point, one mess up is when it's over, because if all of them shoot at you at the same time, you're done. You're pretty much done. So now, this is the game. You're just going as long as you can. And I find this launcher really satisfying because it takes out like a chunk of them at the same time. So then we can walk around, and since I haven't been here, 20 seconds have passed. Oh, I guess 50 seconds have passed since I went over there, and there they took me down. And that's the loop of the game. You take them down and last as long as you can, and every 10 seconds they're going to keep spawning in. So then once you go over there, all of them are going to spread out and start attacking you. And then you're going to be using all those weapons and dodging bullets and lasting as long as you can. So that time I got 80 something kills. And you could, like, let's say you want to try again, you just do it again. And try your best to get more kills that time. But that is pretty much the game. That is everything. I showed you the bullets, I showed you the notifications. I showed you the endless enemies, and I showed, when I focused, I was able to show you how big the groups could become as you shoot them down with all of your weapons. So now that that's done, let's let them take us down, so you can see how quickly that happens once you stop moving. And let me show you the code itself to show you what I really did. So this is the title screen, and the only thing I really did here is I added music. Well, first I added the background picture, which is here, and then I added music, I believe, in the canvas. Yeah, the audio right here, that it plays on awake and then it loops. So for right away we can go to the main scene. I can show you the other stuff. So for the main scene, let's let it load. Oh, I'm in the game view. Okay. For the main scene, I made this Coliseum. I made the walls like separated like this because I thought it looked more futuristic and cool. It could be like magnetic or something. And then this is a skybox in the back. You just drag that onto it. If I go to assets, serial skyboxes, I found this in the asset store, and that is the city skybox. And then I used the dungeon stuff and just dragged on Gladiator textures for, if I go here, I think it's FST. These textures, I dragged them onto the dungeon prefabs because that's what I used for the level design. Because if we go to FPS, we also have prefabs of all of the different building types right here. So I used all the dungeon things. But the thing that I realized as I was doing it is that the actual things themselves are super tiny for some reason. So if we go to like one of these, let me see if I can select like a wall, for example. Let's find it. For some reason, they made it so that this is layered. So I needed to go like block by block pretty much and put the texture. And then I found out that you could select them as a group, but instead of having one or like multiple large blocks, it's just a bunch of small blocks. So it took a really long time to get these textures on. As for the jetpack right here, I'll move the player here. The jetpack, it's one of the prefabs with the pickups, and this is also how I coded in the pickup for the launcher and the pickup for the shotgun, because I just made this spawn in here. And I had it hidden for a picture, but the enemy turret is right here. And the only thing I did to that enemy turret, it's the same one from the initial level, but I made it so its health is pretty much unlimited because I don't want this turret to be able to get taken down. I want it to be just something that's always going to be there for you to keep dodging. And besides that, this is quite over. I added music in the game manager, or there was already music, but I added my own music. That all the assets I use are in the document that I provided, but I added the music here. So if we go to the scripts now, I can show the code that I did. So if we go here, if we go to, I believe I put it in the scripts folder itself. So FPS scripts. To get all of those enemies to continuously spawn in, what I did was I made an enumerator start and the public game object enemy, and then I dragged the prefab onto that public game object of the enemy that's just in the game. And if you want to see where that is, you just go to the assets. It was in FPS, prefabs, and enemies. So that script is just referencing this enemy right here. And what it does, that is the recording software. Where is our scripts? Is that we are changing the object of that prefab, the transform position of that prefab, and instantiating an enemy, a clone of that prefab, so we can have enemies at all of these positions. And it does this in a while loop that goes on pretty forever, essentially, because nobody's going to play for that long. And it does this with a wait for 10 seconds. Well, what that does is, as you can imagine, is that once it does this one time in the loop, it waits for 10 seconds, because it yielded in the return wait for seconds, and then it does the loop again, and it does this over and over again, and that's why all of those enemies keep respawning every 10 seconds, just to keep it engaging and always have more enemies for the player to face, so they can survive as long as possible. So now you might be wondering, okay, so how did I do the texting with it showing kills, and how did I also add the weapons you get when you get a certain amount of kills, like 10 kills for the shotgun and 10 kills for the launcher. So if we go to the objective kill enemies script, it was really simple right here. There was already some text that was updated in that notification, but I just changed it so that it would always show the M kill total, which is how many kills you get. That was just part of the code already. And I made it so that the notification text would show that M kill total as a toString plus the amount of kills. So then it's just going to keep showing how many kills you have. And then for the upgrades, or like the rewards that you get as you play, it was just a simple, when the M kill total equals 10, then at that position we are instantiating a shotgun pickup. And when it equals 20, at this position, we are instantiating a disc gun pickup. That's the launcher, but I wasn't sure what it was called, so I called it disc gun in the code. So yeah, we set that position, and then we instantiate the disc gun. And up here, it says those two game objects, so then you just drag on the prefabs onto the code, as I can show right now, actually. So the prefabs would be these pickups. This is what gives you the weapons. So if we go to objective kill, oh, where it is? Okay, objective kill enemies. Here we have the public variables that I defined in that code, and all you do here is just drag it pretty much. So here's a launcher, drag it to this gun, and the shotgun, drag it there. So then that is pretty much everything, I'm pretty sure. I showed you the notifications, I showed you the endless enemies, and I showed you the music and the textures. So now if we go to the end screen, which is just assets right here, let me just show everything else. Okay, that's just the music and the title screens. So if we go to the end screen, FPS, scenes, it'd be the loose scene. All I did here is just change the background image again, because if you go to canvas right here, you have background image. This was a different type of image, just a normal image, so I just changed it to a raw image so I could drag the image I had that I downloaded. Again, all the assets are in the document. So we have it's here, and then I just changed the thing to game complete, because again, since you can only really lose, it's not really losing, it's just completing the game, so it's unfair to tell the player they lost, since the only way for the game to end is for them to eventually be brought down. So game complete is more satisfying because they lasted so long, and then they can be satisfied with the amount of kills they got. And then of course they can play again or go to the menu. But the one other thing again is that here in the music, I think I put in background image here, audio source and music, and then I just put that there again, play on awake and loop. So that is everything in the code. That is the gameplay as well. And I hope you enjoyed my project 3. Thank you for watching this video and have a great break.